Okay, so the Los Angeles Lakers have been in these NBA streets in a lot of NBA circles as possibilities of trade packages, and they're going to be a strong candidate for the NBA free agency. There's a lot of names that's been inked and linked with the Los Angeles Lakers as far as trade packages, and all this we're about to get into is just rumors, hearsay. There's no concrete evidence at anyone's disposal that this is going to happen. But nevertheless, we're going to address everything in one video with a bow on top of it. All right. So let's just go on and get the high profile stars on out of the way that have been tied to the Los Angeles Lakers as far as being traded and dealt to the Lakers organization. Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, even Ben Simmons. And I think I'm missing a couple more players of these. Chris Paul. I feel like in this category, I feel like I just don't see anything. I don't see how it's going to work and fit because the Los Angeles Lakers have to give up enough capital where the team that you're trading with is going to accept. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers were very strong and confident last year that KCP was not going to be any part of any trade discussions. Also, last year, they, after playing several games with Montrezl Harrell as well as Dennis Scrotum, particularly when Dennis Scrotum turned down that contract from the Los Angeles Lakers, they've been trying to trade them, all through last season. All right, they were not happy with that tandem. Now, Montrezl Harrell going to opt into his final year on his 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. Dennis Scrotum has already exercised that he wants to become a free agent, and he feels like he deserves $100 million. Okay, now the Los Angeles Lakers offered him, I believe, 88 or 89 million, and he's saying, if I have to go somewhere else to get my money, I will go somewhere else and get my money. All right. So when you got those two components plus KCP plus some future draft picks that you don't mind mortgaging away for the players I just named, I feel like none of those teams are going to accept the Los Angeles Lakers kibbles and bits. Okay. So they're going to take a strong pass. And second part is Steph Curry is going to sign back with the Golden State Warriors. He's going to sign a max contract with the Golden State Warriors. He's not going to leave a lot of money on the table just to join the Los Angeles Lakers to possibly chase a championship when he already has his hardware. All right. He's already cemented in, he doesn't have to chase for that no more. And the Golden State Warriors, if they do a couple of trades here and there, if they have a good, strong draft, this, that, and the third, they can possibly get into the playoffs, and they can be just like the next Phoenix Suns, all right? Once you get in, you don't know how long you're going to be there, all right? So, now as far as Bradley Beal goes, there's a strong possibility that he's going to remain with the Wizards. But the Wizards are entertaining trade possibilities. And there's a handful of teams that can trade better assets than the Los Angeles Lakers if they want to trade away Bradley Beal. So the kibbles and bits that the Los Angeles Lakers are offering teams, it's just not good. KCP, he's a good player. I don't have nothing against KCP, but KCP is not a difference maker, all right? Montrezl Harrell is an undersized power forward with a small forward body, all right? There's no desire for Montrezl Harrell. I feel like he missed his train and missed his opportunity. He could have gotten more money with the Charlotte Hornets, but He wanted to follow LeBron James, and he felt like he was going to win a ring with the Los Angeles Lakers. So he sacrificed all that money, left that money on the table for that 2-year deal. Now he's regretting it. And the Los Angeles Lakers are regretting even signing Montrezl Harrell, because he couldn't even make it on the roster in the playoffs when AD went down. Okay? Who would have thunk it? All right? So they just don't have enough pieces to get a Steph Curry, a Bradley Beal, a Dame Dollar. Even even he said in the news article that he's willing to give the Portland Trail Blazers another shot, another chance, one more chance, giving them another chance. So all of those players are off the table for the Los Angeles Lakers, in my opinion. Ben Simmons, I feel like ultimately the Philadelphia 76ers are going to keep Ben Simmons because he's a talented young player. And plus, you still got all next year to keep him. And if it doesn't work out like last year, you can find a trade partner in the trade deadline and get better assets and better pieces for a Ben Simmons. And the Los Angeles Lakers have neither nor. All right. So let's get into the other tier of players when you talk about Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul. Now, both of these guys are point guards. And the Wizards wouldn't mind letting go of Russell Westbrook. Okay, and wouldn't shock me none if Russell Westbrook does get traded to another team. That would be 3 teams in 3 years. Okay, and if they get enough pieces, and the pieces that the Los Angeles Lakers are offering, they're just not good pieces for the Wizards. It's not going to make the Wizards a contender. It's not going to make the Wizards any better. They may lose games, by trading with the Los Angeles Lakers. KCP is not going to be enough. Montrezl Harrell definitely not going to be enough. Dennis Scrotum, even though he wants $100 million, the Wizards may go ahead and give in a sign and trade, may grant him his wish, but he has other options on the table of other teams that's willing to pay him that type of money, and he's not in no desperate state for that to happen. All right. So and two, if somehow some way they can get Russell Westbrook and they trade some of their future and some of the players that they have on their roster for a Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, I just don't even see how that mechanism is going to benefit the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers can still have the same record like last year with Russell Westbrook. I don't know why I don't know why I keep getting Russell Westbrook name confused with Russell Wilson, the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, but that's neither here nor there. Every time I think of Russell Westbrook, I think of Russell Wilson. I don't know why, okay? But that's neither here nor there. Let's get back into this video, all right? So, I just don't see how his talent really matches with LeBron James and AD and what they do with the Los Angeles Lakers as a basketball team, because Russell Westbrook is an ISO player, all right? He desperately seeking Susan needs the ball, okay? He just needs the ball. He can't play without the ball, so he's a ball-dominant player who desperately needs the ball to, benefit the team, whatever team he's on, all right? And, yes, LeBron can play without the ball. Anthony Davis can play without the ball. But in order for this to work, they're going to have to give Russell more touches at the ball, meaning they're going to have to scrap or sacrifice their scheme for it to work. Now, Russell Westbrook 6 or 7 years ago, I would definitely trade for him 6 or 7 years ago. But that's not the same Russell Westbrook we're getting that we're going to get right now, okay? And he's terrible at the three-point line and the free throw line. He doesn't really make the best decisions with the ball at the point, all right? Even though he, I think it's his third straight year getting triple-double. You know, he can F around and get you 10, 12 assists, but he can also F around and give you 7 or 8 turnovers, okay? So that's the price you pay, for him to consistently be a triple threat, sort of say. So I just don't see how that benefits the Lakers. I feel like they'll probably have the same, if they have him on their roster, they'll have the same record like they had this year. And, I just don't see how that works. Now, going to Chris Paul is intriguing, but in order for that to happen, Chris Paul would have to get out of his option, leave a lot of money on the table. I mean, a whole lot of money on the table, sign a minimum contract with the Los Angeles Lakers. And that's how it would work on a player standpoint. Now, could the Phoenix Suns say, okay, we'll let you opt in, get your money, and we'll do a sign and trade, and we'll take what the Los Angeles Lakers are going to give us, which is, if I was the Los Angeles Lakers, I would get KCP, I would get Kuz. Okay, even though I don't think he's a hellified player, I would get him. I would definitely tap into some of them draft picks, those future draft picks the Los Angeles Lakers have dangling in the air. I would definitely do that. And maybe an either or with either Dennis Scrotum or Montrezl Harrell. Now, why do I say those two players? So, if I get Montrezl Harrell, only got him he only going to cost me 1 year on my book. Plus, I can flip him around the trade deadline to another either contending team or just a team, and somebody would, more so a contending team, and they would rent his services for the second half plus the playoffs. Okay, I could do that with Montrezl Harrell. With Dennis Scrotum, it'll be a sign and trade, and I have to give him a $100 million contract, and he will be my point guard, and then I would match him up with the talent I already have on the Phoenix Suns. I don't think that's a good look. I don't see how his talent would fit with the Phoenix Suns. But, they can at least play around with it for a year, and if it doesn't work out, they can always trade him down the road. But on the team side of things, it can work that way. On the player side of things, it can work that way. I just don't see Chris Paul leaving all that money on the table, leaving all that talent from one team to go to another team that you just beaten in the playoffs. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, AD wasn't there. AD wasn't there. The Los Angeles Lakers were not 100%. Okay, I get that. Okay, I get that, my guy. But look on the other side of the fence. The Phoenix Suns didn't have their best roster, okay? Chris Paul was in and out of the lineup. He got COVID. And they literally beat the Los Angeles Lakers without the services of a Chris Paul, all right? So just imagine with Chris Paul, another year wiser with the young talent that you have with the Phoenix Suns. I feel like the Phoenix Suns are going to be a tough out for anybody in the playoffs. That's just my opinion, all right? So why would you leave all that? And that roster is way younger, way talented than the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, he could probably go to the Los Angeles Lakers because he's cool with LeBron James, and they have a great, strong relationship. But truthfully, I think he would stick with Phoenix, get his money, stay with Phoenix. And if it doesn't work out then next year, he'll become a free agent, all right? And then he can sign that league minimum to join the Los Angeles Lakers when, if the Phoenix Suns are not interested in re-signing him, all right? Two, even if somehow, some way they get Chris Paul, okay? So look, just check out what the roster of the Los Angeles Lakers is going to look like. You're going to have Chris Paul at the point. You're going to have LeBron James and you're going to have AD. Okay, either at the 4 or the 5. He prefers the 4 more so than the 5. Okay, I get that. All right. But that's a lot of mileage on two of those players. And Chris Paul has been injury prone. AD has been injury prone. He can't make it through a season, neither can Chris Paul. And LeBron James is starting to catch injuries because he's getting a lot older, okay? So you're going to be really depending on a lot of older talent that's injury prone, okay? And that's just a bad recipe just waiting to blow up in your face, all right? So even if they could get Chris Paul, okay, I don't think that's the deal breaker that's going to send the Los Angeles Lakers over the top, okay? Now, fantasy rumor news, I just don't see this happening. Kawhi Leonard, it's a possibility that he can exercise his option and he can become a free agent. And, the Los Angeles Lakers could be one of those teams that could get Kawhi Leonard. My thing of it is Kawhi Leonard will be in the same situation or Chris Paul could be in if he chooses his former team, if he chooses the Lakers over his current team. Chris Paul has a better roster and more talented, more skillful players with the Phoenix Suns if he wants to go, and he's going to leave there to go to a team that's not so talented, not so athletic, and not so skillful, and they're injury prone and they're much older, okay? Same thing will happen to Kawhi Leonard. If Kawhi Leonard joined the Los Angeles Lakers, he's going to be leaving a team that has some talent still there, okay? Now, is it younger talent? No, but, he's leaving a team that has talent, all right? Just, when 2 years ago they made it deep in the playoffs. Last year they made it real deep into the playoffs. You would think this up and coming season they can actually make it to the finals of and with the talent that they already possess at that roster. Okay, the coach is only going to get better. All right. So you got all these pieces already there with the Clippers, and you're going to choose the Lakers over the Clippers. He'll be in the same situation as a Chris Paul. Plus, he's not going to make a lot of money going to the Los Angeles Lakers unless the Los Angeles Lakers dump a lot of salary. And a lot of teams are not going to give the Lakers an opportunity to make their own super team. And it's going to be really tough and hard for the Lakers to dump all that salary. Now, as far as Dennis, they can always say just go kick rocks and go get your money elsewhere. We're not entertaining any offers. They could go to Montrezl Harrell and say, you know what, I wouldn't exercise that option because if you do, we're going to trade you. All right. They could whisper that into his ear. That could free up some money. But can it free up Kawhi Leonard type money? No, you're going to have to even purge even more players off your roster to, because he's not going to take a pay cut. All right. So I just don't see that happening. But I feel like the Los Angeles Lakers, the best thing for the Los Angeles Lakers to do, in my humble opinion, okay, look, keep Montrezl Harrell, hug him up, make him throw some encouraging words at him. Let him go ahead and let him take that option. Make him feel warm and welcome. Okay, that's the words I'm looking for. And he will exercise his final year with the Los Angeles Lakers. And you got him, you got Kuz, you got, now as far as Dennis go, that's going to cost you more money in the long run. Just let him just walk and just play it out. Whatever just play your draft the players you want to draft that contribute to your team. Get some players here and there through free agency. DeRozan, and Kyle Lowry. There's a possibility of either one of those players or both of those players going to the Los Angeles Lakers. If you get one or possibly both of them, hey, that's great for you guys. But in my humble opinion, I would just keep what I got. I wouldn't waste a lot of money on free agency and just play it out. And teams that are contenders in the playoffs, they're going to, those pieces that no one wants now, they're going to be desperately needing those pieces, particularly if they're trying to contend and go into the playoffs. And they will probably give you more for those pieces, like a Kuz, like a Montrezl Harrell. And the team can get better, and you're just going to have to roll the dice on what you got at your disposal on your roster, and just shoot for the moon, wish for the stars, and shoot for the moon. And you could be like the next Phoenix Suns, where you just get in there, you win one series, you win another series, and boom, you're in the finals. Okay, that could happen for the Los Angeles Lakers as well. They have enough talent on that roster to go deep into the playoffs and can win a series or two. All right. So that's all I got for today. I hope everyone liked this video. It's your boy, the host with the most. I'm up out of here. Deuces.